Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Oracle Hour. I am so excited to be here. I feel like I've been looking forward to this all week, this time for us to get together and to just relax into intuition and awareness of who we are here to be in the eternal now. We just had the most glorious thunderstorm. I was chatting with one of my girlfriends earlier, and all of a sudden my screen just got really, really, really dark. And it was so beautiful. And then it just started pouring, like crazy pouring. And it was dark and beautiful. And I just felt so embodied in the energy. At one point, I was talking to my girlfriend and I said something, and then there was this thunder crash. And I was like, see. And it was when I had just gotten kind of a message from Source. So that was a really interesting moment to experience. Like you say all these things, then you're like, hold on, I have this download. And the moment that I finished it, it was like, it was so cool. She couldn't hear it because, the way Zoom is, but I felt it. I heard it. And honestly, it was probably from me more than anything. The energy right now in the world is, and I say the world, what I really mean is the 3D world, right? Because there's so many different aspects of the world. There's the ethereal world, there's the spiritual world, there's the occult world, if you will. There's all these different quantum levels of existence. And in this particular one, in the 3D, what I think we're feeling right now is there's just this spinning up energy, right? We're coming into the summer. I've been talking about this a lot with my private clients, that we're really starting to slow down and we're coming into a period of almost like mindfulness, right? Like you notice in the summertime, there aren't as many cars on the road, right? Like people are taking off more in the summer. So you kind of feel that ease of the driving. A lot of kids aren't in school, so their parents aren't driving them. Everything just kind of slows down and becomes much more, you have much more opportunity to be mindful. And, if we look at the calendar, the true calendar, compared to the calendar that we talk about in terms of like the Gregorian calendar, but we look at like the seasonal calendar, we recognize that the summertime, especially, and of course I'm only speaking in the what are we, the Western Hemisphere. I'm only speaking in terms of the Western Hemisphere here, but as we look at it, we're kind of coming into this slowing down, this mindfulness, this ability to get back in touch with who we are and to just relax, to just be, hello, April, to just be in the moment. And it's in this moment that we truly have our power. In the moment is where we actually can make any decision, any choice, any move, so to speak. Okay. So we're coming into this time to just really allow ourselves to feel what it feels like to be human, to feel what it feels like to be embodied. And so as we come into this middle of June place, I think we're coming up on a new moon soon. We're starting to get that feeling of like, I'm here right now. So for me, I'm 40. I just turned 40 in November, and I'm very much in a place of recognizing there will be a time when I will give anything to be 40 again. And even though it feels like the oldest I've ever been, and like, oh my gosh, can I wear that? Can I do this? Can I show up in this way? Hi, Carolyn. Can I show up in this way at 40? Can I wear a tiered skirt? Can I wear cowgirl boots? I know there's going to come a time when I'm going to be like, girl, you could have gone out in a mini skirt at 40 and nobody would have said anything. But, we have this frame of reference, this perspective of like, oh gosh, I'm getting old. I'm getting, and so all of these ponderings, all of this ability to kind of stop and think about these things, this happens more in the summer as we slow down. Oh, thank you. Carolyn says I can wear whatever I want. I appreciate that. But this is when the contemplation starts to happen. Okay. This is a time of a lot of inflection, a lot of not inflection. What's the word I'm trying to say? that there's a lot of going within that gets to happen in the summer. So this is a great time to do your journaling, to take long walks, to walk, to go sit on your porch in the rain. This is a great time to allow yourself to dig deeply into what it means to be you. Introspection, that's the word. Thank you, Garrett. You're amazing. Yes. What it means to be you in this moment. What defines the existence of you in this moment, and to really lean into that. So that's what I invite you guys to do over the course of the next week, is just let the summer permeate you. Let the summer come in. Let it just, that exhale, that drink by the pool, whatever the case may be, whether you're in school yet or you're out of school yet, or you're still in school or your kids are in school or whatever, let yourself breathe in to that slowing down of the summer, because come fall, you're going to feel that push. You're going to feel that energy of like, oh my gosh, let's go. Let's do it again. Let's start sloughing off what we don't need. But for right now, we're going to sit in all of it. We're going to be with all of what we are. And then it'll be time to kind of separate from what is and what is no longer us. So thank you so much for listening. Let's go ahead and talk about calls. Let's talk about cards, you guys. When you have ADHD, I'm telling you right now, it is almost impossible to walk and chew gum. Let's talk about cards. We've got 3 decks for you tonight. As you guys may know, if this is your first time here, let me know, first time. But I will be choosing the decks. I choose the decks based on the energy, what's coming through. Generally speaking, we do ask folks to come on and interact with me live because I just get a better energy read when I actually have you there and I can feel that. But if for some reason that's not possible, you've got kids in the tub, you're getting dressed, you're, not feeling very well, of course, I will do a reading for you while you're, just in the comments. So let's talk about tonight's decks. We've got the Crystal Spirits, which is one of my old favorites. This one's really great if you're trying to get the essence of kind of what's trying to come through for you. We've also got Getting into the Vortex. I love this one as well because this is about relationships. And I think relationships are powerful, but I also think they're circumstantial. So usually I look at this one for kind of where inside of yourself is there a mismatch that can then create synergy in the relationships outside of you. And then I was feeling feisty and I pulled the Priestess of the Light Oracle, which I love, love, love. This one is very, very intense. So let me tell you how card reading works. This is a complimentary / donation situation. What does that mean? It means if you want to and you feel like it, you are more than welcome to send me some Venmo. Either if I read for you or you just feel like something resonates, you can do that. Is it required? No. Do you need to do that in order to get a reading? You do not. But if for some reason you are looking for an energetic exchange where you provide energy and I provide energy, and that's something that you feel like you need in order to have the transformation of that transmission, words are hard tonight, y'all, then you are more than welcome to utilize my Venmo. It's just like that, at Amy Lee-Westervelt. Easy peasy. Okay. If you guys are interested in learning more about working with me or any of my programs, I am going through a major rebrand right now, but you're more than welcome to check me out at amyleewestervelt.com. And last but not least, before we open the reading queue, if you know of anybody who would be interested in this transmission, we are transmitting on YouTube as well as on my personal profile and in one of my Facebook groups. If you know anybody that you think would benefit from a reading or might just want to watch us, feel free to share this, what is this called? Transmission with them, or send them a message or tag them or whatever you'd like to do. Okay. Oh, and one more thing. If you would like me to be able to acknowledge you and you want me to be able to see your name, one of two things. Either A, give StreamYard permission for them to show me your Facebook name, and it takes 2 seconds. There's no logging in. You don't have to sign up for an account. You just click a button and you're good. Or make sure that when you write that you put a hyphen and your name so that I am able to welcome you personally. Okay, awesome. All right, let's go ahead and open the queue. I haven't actually even seen anybody yet, which usually people jump right in and say, I want a card. But I am standing by. I will get my link ready. Okay, no worries, Elizabeth. Okay, perfect. So let me get this ready. I'll be right with you, Elizabeth. I'm just going to get this cue popping here. It is so dark. My keyboard is so dark. Okay, there's one. See what else we got. Carolyn. Hi, Sarah Gilbert. Hi, gorgeous. Would you like a card? I don't know if you would, but if you do, I'm sending you a message just in case because you're here. Okay, perfect. All right, that's good for now. All right, April. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Elizabeth, Coach Elizabeth, is it okay if I pull a card on your behalf? Perfect. Got it. Garrett, got it. Okay, great. Let's see, what am I feeling for you? All right, let's do Crystal Spirit. That's what I'm feeling tonight for you. And Sarah, I will be right with you after I do this one. Get you looking all gorgeous per your usual. She's like, she can see me? Yes, I can see you. Sex kitten down there. You guys, when I turn 25, I hope I look as good as Sarah Gilbert. That's all I gotta say. Oh, thanks, Joe. Crystal Spirit. It's like Crystal Waters. Is that the one that sang that song? 100% pure love. All right, Elizabeth. My house is so noisy right now. I just need you to know that I'm getting like the ADHD like award for being undistractable because it is like, I don't even know out there, Animal House. Oh, okay. I don't even know how to say this. So Spessartine Garnet for you, Elizabeth. Oh, okay. There you go. Spessartine Garnet. Joe, you know what? You guys, if you don't know Joe Ingram, he's my mentor / best friend / bane of my existence. And he jumps on these calls just to give me a hard time. And also to provide incredible guidance. Okay. Charm and charisma, shining and sparkling, being a brilliant beacon of confidence that inspires others. Well, if that doesn't describe you, Coach Elizabeth, I don't know what does. Every one of us is a being of light meant to shine and sparkle. Your light draws others to you, for we all seek the light. The message of Spessartine Garnet Spirit is to embrace your natural charm and magnetism. Do you think you're not all that special? If so, that is only because you haven't discovered your natural charisma and expressed it. The conscious universe wants you to let it shine out. For your dazzling brilliance will be a beacon for others as you walk the healing path toward discovering your destiny. You can attract those who will help you and those who will benefit from all that you have to share, your talents, your love, your joy. We are also lucky to have you here on this planet right now. Feel your magnetism today. Express it, shine your light in all your glory, inspiring others, and let yourself draw in whatever will help you on your journey. You are a unique being with light only you can emit. Do you think you have to work harder to make people like you? What if your soulmate is out there waiting for you to stop trying so hard and just be your glorious, amazing, brilliant self? I am here and ready for a partner to shine with me. Today is a good day to recognize that all that is attractive in you and stop trying to hide it out of some sort of fear that others might not be comfortable seeing you in your full glory. Shine brightly today. Okay, so interestingly enough, before I read the little relationship section, something was coming through for me, and let me tell you what it is. The message that's coming through for you is that there are walls. Whenever I feel somebody who has walls, I always like to ask, what are the walls there for a reason? And I really don't think I've ever had anyone and any guides ever say they're not there for a reason or that they're left over. But there is an energy that is protective in you. There is an energy that's protective, but also it's I want to say it's combative. It's not combative. It's not defensive. It's on its guard, right? Like for some reason, there's an energy of you that's waiting for something to either, kind of like Ken Walls, that's waiting to respond or rebut, or there's always this. I have to be careful speaking in generalities. There's a part, cautious and tentative, but also that there's a piece, Joe's picking up on it too. There's a piece that's like waiting for someone to contradict so that you can clap back, so that you can acknowledge that you really do have it together. Like you're waiting, like there's almost like someone out there that's going to be like, you know that Elizabeth, she really doesn't know what she's talking about. So you can be like, yeah, actually I do. And here's all the ways I do. And here's all the things. And so you look at, I would say, the peer world maybe with jaded eyes sometimes. And when that happens, you shut yourself down to potential collaborations or to people feeling like they want to let you in because you're so afraid to let them in. And so even though you're this cosmically brilliant, talented creature that's so capable of supporting people and potentially may even find clients among your peers, you sometimes come across as so closed off that they're afraid to get close enough to be vulnerable with you. And obviously there's probably some history there of something that happened or a way that you were brought up or whatever the case may be. But the medicine here is to think about what hurts more: holding yourself at arm's length from people who could potentially come into your heart and you into theirs in a way that is so fulfilling and so beautiful that could be transformational for both of you, or to continue to hold yourself at arm's length, wondering what it would be like potentially having an upset here or there with someone who exploits you or is an opportunist in some way. But what if they end up being the collaborative partner that takes you to 9 figures and beyond? What if they end up being your best friend? What if they end up being someone who has that missing piece that you know you've been waiting for? Does that make sense? So that's what's coming through for you. You don't have to acknowledge or I mean, of course, if you have questions on any deepening of that, it's not easy to open your heart. I should know. I've had my heart stepped on a million times by so many different people. But when we do, it can be absolutely remarkable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I felt the exploitation piece specifically, opportunist exploitation being used. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The cautious energy is what you lead with. And that's where maybe some of that friction might be coming from. Yeah. I hope that was helpful. You're welcome. Absolutely. Okay, Miss Sarah, you ready? You want to adjust your boobs or anything before we get you on here? They're good? Okay, perfect. Hi.
Hello. We just came back from the beach.
Oh my gosh, what a life. What a life. Must be so tough being you.
Oh my gosh. Actually, let's pass on that one because we all know we have those things.
Absolutely. Do you have a specific question? So, or, you're just kind of in it for the fun to just kind of see what happens?
I do. It's kind of a bit of both. I do have question because I will be going back home, and so like this trip is coming to an end, and I am wondering what the next step is.
Okay. All right. In that case, let's go for the Priestess of the Light, because I'm an overachiever and I like to really I like to really give myself an assignment. So I love this deck, by the way. If you don't have this one, I highly recommend it. Never mind, the art is absolutely extraordinary, but the messages of this is just like, oh, so good. It's like goddess energy, but it's got empress energy. It's all the things. She has a question about going with the flow. Yes, Jill. He'll be here all night, ladies. Try the veal. No, don't try the veal. Veal's not good. That's sad. Okay. Is it all right to pull a card on your behalf?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No. Solar plexus, maybe. Tenderness, true love, compassion. That is Caleb singing, Carolyn. Caleb is singing about Minecraft. Okay. This card foretells the coming of a new or increasing love in your life. It may seem to arise out of the blue, or it may be a relationship that has been developing for quite some time. Either way, feelings of tenderness as portrayed in this sweet kiss between a person and a giraffe. So good luck with that. I bet his tongue is amazing. Will soon be intensifying. The brilliant gold that suffuses this tender moment indicates a purity and the connection being forged, radiating the sense of a deep heart-to-heart bond. It may be even a karmic calling, a relationship that extends from lifetime to lifetime. Ooh, this sounds good. How do I sign up for this? Oh, wait, I already have that. Because of its great height, the giraffe has an advantage over other animals. That is the ability to see far into the distance. The message here is to be honest about your perspective on love. Be sure not to limit your view of your deserving or of your future potential. Even if you've been hurt in the past or been alone for far too long, true love is on the horizon. Remember that the tenderness you give yourself will be reflected back to you in the brilliant light and love that the universe will be sending your way. So the affirmation is, I open my heart and my life to true love. I deserve tender kindness from others, and I give it to myself. Okay, why I'm obsessed with this card for you. So as I'm reading this and thinking about giraffe kisses, what's coming through is that you have been on this beautiful journey. And we're talking about, obviously, to Costa Rica and the beautifulness of that, but also the inner journey, right?
Yeah.
That inward awareness and knowing. And in doing so, I mean, if you could see you when we first met versus you now, your divine feminine essence is so powerful and is so dialed in. I remember when we first started talking and I was talking about the work I was doing, and you're like, well, there's a lot of men in my world too. Like there wasn't outright rejection, but there was a little bit of like friction with this idea. And now you have this energy that's just so embodied and so relaxed and so ready and whole in and of itself, that it's ready to partner with an energy that's whole in and of itself. And so when you look at a potential mate, it doesn't have the energy of like, I need him to have this and I need him to have this, or I need her to have, speaking about whoever, it has the energy of, I cannot wait until I meet who I already know is that person. It's a very different energy. It's not, I'm searching the field for the one and I'm looking for all of these constraints. It's, I'm so whole in who I am that I can't wait to see what the other half of this feels like. And so that's why, because I think sometimes we're like, okay, well, if this is going to happen, why now? Why is this any different? And the answer is because you're ready to complete your half of that equation. You're ready to be the yang to the yin, right? You're ready to be in a partnership with someone that you don't have to compete with. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to rewrite who you are to fit into the mold of who they are. And you recognize that you're not looking for someone who's looking for what you're looking for. You're looking for the opposite of you. You're not looking for someone who is you, and they're not looking for someone who's them. And I think that wouldn't have happened to the level that it did if you hadn't gone within, slowed way down, gotten away from anyone that you probably would have potentially had a love match with, so that you could find the pieces of you that are Sarah. So you could find who you are in essence, in your wholeness. So you could knit yourself together in all of the, I don't need a man for the rest of my life if I don't want one. And that's why I am a perfect match for exactly the one that's going to complement who I already am. That's what I felt.
I feel that. Like this journey, this 6 month journey has definitely been transformative. And yes, from like a very masculine energy to a way more feminine energy. And now it's like this balance is coming together.
And when you come home, it's going to come
Yeah.
together. You're going to have to bring that piece. I mean, you never lost it. Obviously, you're still working and things like that. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Other Sarah, thank you. You never lost that, but bringing that part of you, that wild woman back with you and integrating her into the you from home. I mean, that in of itself is a love story, I think.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was feeling. And I was like, yeah. And yeah, I have been single for like 15 years. So maybe it's time, you know?
She
But
does,
in a
doesn't
different
she?
way.
She really does. Garrett just said you have such energy. This woman is embodied beyond what most people that you will meet in your life. She's incredible. If you don't follow her, Sarah Gilbert, she's amazing. She takes my breath away sometimes with her energy. So yes, you're picking up on that.
Thank you. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
That loops the loop.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love you.
Oh, I love you so much. Let's catch up soon, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, you guys, Sarah is amazing. And like I said, she's in Costa Rica for just a couple more days before she transitions back home to, I think it's Canada. I want to say it's Canada. She's nodding. It's Canada. Yeah. And she and her daughter went on this incredible excursion, and she's, oh my gosh, I hope she writes a book. Wouldn't that be amazing if she wrote a book? Oh my gosh. Like Eat, Pray, Love, but like giraffe tongue ocean. I don't know. She'd call it something cool. I know she's going to kick ass at no matter what she does. Thank you so much for being here, Sarah. We love you. All right. April has been hard at work, sewing all the things. Showed me some samples. What can I do for you today, Miss April?
Oh, hello. Anything that you feel like you need to tell me.
You always do that to me.
But you're always right on.
Let's get some vortex action. I know I am always right on. It's kind of creepy.
Because we're connected. I said because we're connected.
We are connected. Do I have permission to pull a card on your behalf?
Yes.
Excellent. So I was talking to my my one-on-one clients today. I have like a channel where I like talk to them, and all of a sudden my throat started closing up, like literally like allergic reaction kind of situation.
Oh my.
It was so awkward.
That's not good.
I know. Hold on, I have a little jingly thing up here. Who's talking? Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. So all that to say, I know that the throat situation I feel is not you. Why am I all breaking out and stuff?
Oh, hopefully you're not allergic to me.
What's going on, April?
Mm. I got glitter all over everything.
I love it. Okay, steak roll. Ready? I can get from an unwanted, no, she just doesn't always make sense. I can get from an unwanted to a wanted relationship. As you walk away from one unpleasant situation, the law of attraction will bring another that feels very much like it, and usually quickly. You just cannot get there from there. To get where you want to be, to that place of feeling better, you have to reach for alignment between you and you. Getting yourself feeling good before you take action is always the best process. For when you do not feel good, you cannot be inspired to any action that will solve the problem. Okay. So, what this I think is talking about is that we tend to create repetition in our lives, right? Like we have these situations where we have a situation happen and then we don't learn the lesson and we go through it again. And then we go through it again. And
Yeah.
so when we are in the vibration of a certain negative energy, the only thing that we're going to be able to attract is other things on that frequency. So you may find that you have like a bad experience with a client or with a customer. And then a couple days later, you have an experience with a customer again that's almost identical to that because that's the frequency you're on. So what ends up happening, and I see this a lot with people in the multi-level marketing field because they will attract people to their team or to their leadership that are hard to deal with, that aren't necessarily movers and shakers, that don't, that are not aligned, that need a lot of hand holding. And then they'll perpetuate that pattern, and that's what that's what they'll consistently attract, right? People who attract partners who consistently are not good for them. And so we see this a lot, like it happens because you're still in that level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So kind of think of it like if you were in a hotel and your key only opens the 7th floor and you could go into any room on the 7th floor. Okay. And in room 102 and this on the 7th floor, or 702, let's make it easy. Room 702, there's a duck in there. Okay. And so, okay, there's a duck in room 702. 703, there's a cow. Okay. Like there's going to be all farm animals on this floor. You're not going to see zebras and tigers and giraffes with giant tongues on this floor. They're on a different floor. You can't get to that floor from here. What do you have to do? You have to go back in the elevator, go down to the front desk, get the key for the 8th floor. I know this is a really bad generalization, but is it making sense kind of what I'm saying?
Sort of.
So if you perpetuate the energetic signature of the way you've always been, you're going to keep on getting things that are on the same level. You have to change the frequency of you inside to see the reflection outside. So if you're finding that you are getting into cat fights with a bunch of girls, right? You get in a cat fight here, you cat fight here, cat fight here. You're on the vibration of being confrontational and going to get in fights, and that's what you're attracting. But you can say, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I value myself more than getting my hair pulled out all the time. Instead of letting myself get to a point where I get in fights, I'm going to go back inside myself. I'm going to do this meditation before I go out in public every day to neutralize myself so that when I go into public, I'm already dialed down so this doesn't happen. So one, yes, you will stop getting into fights, but more than that, you'll stop attracting people into your life that would get in fights in the first place. Do you now see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so kind of like sort of like the last thing that we had talked about.
Yeah.
To reach a
Sure.
new mom.
I'm tracking. Mm-hmm.
About those people that have the things that happen.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep attracting that kind of stuff.
Yes. Okay. I love that you brought that up, because if you didn't, I wasn't going to go there, but you did. So we will. Right. So the frequency of that is, can I say what the frequency is? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So the frequency of that is being taken advantage of
Mm-hmm.
in situations where you feel like you're being used, where
Mhm.
where your friendships are conditional, where people treat you a certain way until certain things happen and then they no longer treat you that way because of whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? That comes from the vibration of you feeling like it's really hard for me to make friends, so I kind of got to take what I can get. I'm not really worth being a good friend, having a good friend. You see, you got the here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worth having ride or die girlfriends, so I got to take what I can get. Whoever says, April, I want to be your friend, they're in, right? Because have you seen me? Have you looked at me? Have you listened to me? Did you see like how I am? Remember that time that I did that thing? Like, why would anybody want me? What's wrong with somebody who wants to be friends with me? Well, what's wrong with them is that they don't have any follow through. They're not very kind. They use you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're okay with that because you're like, great, that makes sense. I'm not good enough. And so they're not quality friends. It lines up perfectly. What happens when you start changing the narrative for yourself? What happens when you start saying, you know what? From now on, I'm only hanging out with people who X, Y, and Z. From now on, I am putting myself first. From now on, if you do this once, okay, accident. If you do it twice, you're gone. Do you think you will have to exercise those boundaries with your new friends? Or do you think maybe you'll just attract better friends?
Probably will attract better friends.
Right. So that's what this card is about. It's about if you consistently have the same beliefs and you go into situations with those beliefs, you're going to consistently attract that same caliber of partner in terms of the reflective connection, meaning like you and what's outside of you that gives you that reflection. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah.
change the way you feel inside and you change the vibration of how you feel, I'm Pissa. I'm awesome. Look what I sewed today, you guys. Can I just tell you, I sewed 3 different dresses today. 3.
Did.
I'm amazing. Like anybody would be lucky to be my friend. Now that vibration, who do you think that's attracting?
Hopefully better people.
Hopefully better people. If I'm a loser who doesn't stick up for my, for what I believe in and whatever, and I'm just not a good person, am I going to want to be around somebody who's super confident, who calls people out when they disrespect her, who holds her boundaries? Am I going to want to be around that person
Nope.
if my intention is to exploit and overpower someone?
True.
No, answer the question.
Sorry. Kids came in. I didn't even hear the last thing you said.
If I'm a person
Uh-huh.
whose sole purpose, whose goal is to find somebody that I can push over or scam or hurt or exploit or use, am I going to go for the girl who has impeccable boundaries, who sticks up for herself, who has high self-esteem?
No.
No. That's like announcing to the police that you're going to rob a bank. Right?
True. Yeah, that is right.
So what has to change then to make this repeating pattern stop happening? Is it that you have to stop choosing those people? No. What is it really?
I'm gonna have to change me. How I feel about myself and how I allow others into my life and how I let them treat me.
Right.
I don't know. More confidence, I guess.
Right. You have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're an incredible human being and anybody would be tickled to be friends with you. These are your boundaries. If you don't like them, you don't have to stay.
Yeah.
The moment that you make that your truth, the The moment you make that your truth, the lesson is learned, and all of that simply removes itself from your field because it's no longer resonating with who you are on the inside. You're no longer giving off that reflection, so it can't reflect back to you.
Okay. Yeah.
I know it's deep.
It is deep.
Watch this again, and I think it will click.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. Kind of a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. It is true.
No, it's not a hard pill to swallow because it means that you're 100% in power here. You're 100% in control of how this goes because it all starts with you.
Yeah.
And so if it all starts with you, then nobody else can be in charge of your outcome except you.
True. I'm only the one to blame.
No, not.
I'm just saying, if I don't change, I'm the one to blame because I'm not putting myself first. I'm allowing others to use me.
Fine, but I want to change that word from blame to responsible. What happens if you take the word responsible and you flip it around? Able to respond.
Yeah.
So you are able to respond. You can change the situation to get a better outcome. You can, without anybody else doing anything. Thank you, Carolyn. Responsibility is not about being your fault. It's about being able to respond.
Yes, be responsible. That is a lot better. So
I love you so much, and I hope this helped. And like I said, when we're done, watch it again, and I think it'll click.
Thank you. I love you too. Oh, and I have a friend who's trying to comment, but she can't comment.
Why?
I don't know. It keeps saying that she can't comment or something. Another April.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, tornado coming this way.
All right, go get underground. I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
I know that was kind of an intense concept, but I think it's really important. And I think every single one of us either can or has learned from that concept that we have to change who we are internally before we see those things change on the outside. And that's actually a lot of what I do in my work with clients is I can help somebody completely revolutionize their romantic relationship without ever even having to speak to their partner. Because we're doing the work on the inside. We're doing the limiting belief shifts. We're doing the work on you and what you believe and how you're reacting. And that then changes the reflection of what you're looking at in your life. And so that's been one of the most remarkable things about, I don't even know what to call what it is, but the work that we do together, the mirror reflection work that I do with clients, it's all about this. It's about, okay, where inside of you is this going on? And how can we mend that? Because as soon as we do, it just disappears outside of you. And I've seen it 100 times if I've seen it once. So that is a really important concept. And if you guys caught the tail end of that, I see a lot of you jumping on and off. Make sure that you go back and watch that live because there was a little bit of channeling in there, a little bit of coaching, but it was a really powerful lesson. Okay, it looks like I've got just Carolyn left. Did anybody else want to jump in? I don't know how to find this April person. Does anybody else want to jump in? What are we at? 7:44. Oh, wow. We're almost in an hour. Garrett, thank you, Garrett. I sent you the link, right, Lovey? I think I did. Absolutely, April. It's my sincere pleasure. Okay, here comes Carolyn. Here comes Carolyn. Here comes Carolyn. Down Carolyn Lane. Hi. How are you?
How are you? Sorry, I needed to mute you from the other one.
Oh, you're fine. Can we talk about how gorgeous you look today?
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh, you were like beaming. Carolyn was like one of my original like high ticket clients. Like she's like one of the first like people I worked with privately one-on-one, like real hardcore. And like, I'm not taking credit or anything, but look at her. Isn't she stunning? Like, oh my gosh.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Absolutely. What can I do for you, Lovey?
I'm gonna go with like April. Let's see what you can channel for me.
Okay. We're going back to the
Have
priest
some
of
fun
the
here.
light.
I said, let's have some fun.
Well, I'm already getting a message for you.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure how to put that into words. So let's see if the card helps us. But I will tell you that, but just so people don't think I'm lying, it has to do with spirituality.
Okay.
So let's see if the card does too. I need her for my healthy lifestyle. I know she is amazing. She's like the most organized human being I've ever met. It's ridiculous. I know. I want to hire her for my business. If she didn't have her own, I'd be all over that. That's not a bad idea. Wheels are turning. Okay, here we go. Do I have permission to pull a card on your behalf?
Yes, Kenny.
Look at you. You're beaming. Did you get late today? Did you get late? Did you get late? You look like you did. Okay. Harvest. Gathering of blessings. Okay. So before we go to the book, here's what I want to say. All right, can we say that in a nicer way? Okay, no, we can't. You've been playing it very safe. You've been playing it very surface level. And even though you're so good at what you do and you're so qualified to do it, it doesn't light you up like you thought it would. It doesn't have the roots. It doesn't have the essence. It doesn't have the longing, the deepness, that you want. There's a spiritual component of it that's kind of missing, and you try to like stick it in, like where there's a little spot on the end, like when you're like grouting tile and you're like, okay, there's a little spot, let's just crack open a tile and put it on the end. Like you try to like to stick it in the holes, but it's not the full expression of who you are. And it wasn't until you felt like you made it in the business that you could be taken seriously, that you did what you needed to do to feel like you were foundationally fit to take this exhale and to really embody who you are. And now that you've done that, it's not scratching the itch. It's not giving you the feels. It's not giving you that like warm blanket feeling you thought it would have. And you surround yourself with people, not surround, but you have a lot of people in your life who do have that feeling, who do have that connection. And I wouldn't say you're jealous of it, but you're aware of it. You're very aware of it. And you think, well, I don't know how to do those things. I don't know how to access that part of myself. That's not who I am. And Source wants you to know, oh, baby girl, that is absolutely who you are. That is who you came to be. And what you've done up to this point, you did because you needed that validation. You needed that open heart piece of like, yes, you can. Yes, you did. Yes, just like where you came from in the corporate world. Pat on the back. Absolutely. 100%. However, there's more to it. And you're not done yet. And there's so much more to what you're here to do and what you're here to build. And I'm seeing this part of you that like wants her wings to open and like make this like, not a cackling noise, but like a roaring noise or like a bird cawing noise. There's a movement that's trying to happen inside of you that wants to get bigger, that feels like it's not about being center stage. It's not a visionary energy. It's an expressive energy. And because that's not being satisfied, the same thing is happening intimately. You're not having that satisfaction in the way that you know that you could, that it could be, that you're not letting go that way. You're not opening that way. And that's all you want at this point. You're like, you can keep everything else. I did it. I made it happen. I know what it looks like. This is what I want. And so let's go see what this freaking book has to say. But that's what came through for me. The priestess of the harvest gazes at an ear of corn with great reverence and appreciation for the sacred sustenance, the cause, the seeds, along with the effect, the nourishing food, nourishing food, coexist right in her hands, a tribute to the bounty and blessings of Mother Earth. The priestess knows that her own efforts and intentions are part of the ongoing abundance that nature provides. When you receive this card, you are being put on notice that your harvest is coming. There is a project or goal to which you've devoted much effort and attention, and you're about to reap the rewards. You planted your intentions with care and taken the action needed to tend the seeds and cause them to thrive. So if you haven't already seen the fruits of your labor growing in your life, be aware of the potential bountiful results about to come your way. And if there is some work yet to be done, consider the best course of action and make that a priority. Remember, too, the simultaneity, wow, I get points for that, of cause and effect. Even as you're harvesting the blessings of past actions, you're planting the seeds of future outcomes. So as you ready yourself for the coming harvest, also know that your sacred appreciation for the gifts you're receiving will be seeding the energetic fields with even more joyous results. So, fun fact, you guys, Carolyn's actually one of my best friends in the whole world. And we have not had this conversation. And she did not know that I was going to say this. And we have not discussed anything other than, hi, how are you? I miss you. Let's get together in like 3 months. So, what you just saw happen is 100% organic. Could not have happened any other way. And Carolyn, what are your thoughts?
I think you're spot on. As usual, right? Now there's something within me. I was talking to Vanessa this past week, and there's
Your
still
new bestie, now that you've abandoned me. I'm just kidding.
I have not
I love you both. Stop it. I love you both.
I have not abandoned you. Don't be jealous. No, but I was talking to her, and we were talking about this, and it's just there's still something within me. It's like, yes, I'm not feeling that excitement that like you and she does, and some of the people in our group do, right? And I'm not jealous, but it's like, okay, I know there's something in there that I get to start, I guess, looking within, which is one of the comments that I put in. Is like I thought summer was kind of more an outward energy and like going out and all the things, but for me this summer specifically has been more to I've been called to go more inward to try to find out what that is. So it's kind of like listening to, I think for me it's kind of like going back to just kind of the things that who I am and what are some of the things that excite me and some of the things that really call into, so then I can bring it into my life, my business, and all the things, and then maybe serve my women and my moms that way too. So it does resonate a lot, and thank you so much for that. And I get to re-listen to just make sure I'm taking notes, but I do feel like there's something still within that connection with myself that yet gets to surface. And
yeah, I keep hearing release. Like orgasm release, like let go, like there's almost like this squirting that has to happen. Like there's this like inner part of you that has to be expelled in order for you to kind of come down from this wound up energy that you've created. And it's been winding for a while, but you've only been aware of the winding since the other project kind of did its thing. And you're like, okay, this was supposed to be it. This was supposed to be the thing that was going to give me, and it didn't. And it's like, yeah, I know. By the way, like this has been building. And so don't be surprised if it comes out of nowhere. Don't be surprised if, it's kind of like your water breaking, if you will. But it's coming. And the summertime is a great time for you to just kind of feel into like, what do you even feel? Like, can you feel your left pinky right now? Like, don't touch it. Don't move it. Can you feel it?
I mean, I know it's there, but like,
can you call your attention to it?
Sort of.
Yeah. So start practicing being able to call your energy to the different parts of your body. Recognize, bring yourself back inside. back into the mindfulness. When you do the kind of work you do, it's very easy to go to the spreadsheet and go to here and go to there. And I gotta do this, and I gotta pick up the boys, and then I gotta do this. And it's like, no, like bring yourself back to that generator place, that sacral, that core knowingness of life that exists inside of you. I love that. Yeah, my left pinky just got a hot flash. Yeah. So call that energy back. Practice calling that energy and recognizing that energy. And you'll start to notice that it will, when you start to pay attention to it, it'll start communicating with you. You'll be like, Amy Lee, I had my first download. Oh my gosh, I just realized this. And it will start to happen. But the first component of that is getting back into your body and allowing yourself to feel what it's like to be alive from the inside out.
Makes sense. And yes, I look forward to those downloads. Like, I mean, I know I'm not you, but it's like, okay.
You're not me. In fact, you are me. In fact, in the cosmos, we're all one thing. You're just a reflection. You are here to show me something in myself that's either something that's great about me that I need to go, wow, that's amazing, or something I need to fix about myself that goes, wow, Carolyn, you know, like you're simply a reflection. So there is no competition. There is only awareness. And you are one of my favorite humans. I'm so excited to party with you in September. And let's have our girls' Zoom date soon.
Yes, let's do that. And thank you so much.
I love you.
I love you too.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Carolyn has always been one of my best friends, like 1,000,000%. But like, she's gotten like seriously hot, y'all. Like, she is really gorgeous. I mean, I always knew she was gorgeous, but like, she's glowing. I don't know why she's glowing. I'll find out later on my own terms, but she's gorgeous. All right, Miss Garrett is here. Hello, happy summer. But not really, because you're teaching camp, right?
Summer school, but
Summer
it's
school.
actually way easier than I thought because they changed what I was doing. So, I mean, I'm pretty much kind of doing whatever they need and babysitting. So it's fine.
Right. Is it air conditioned at least?
Yeah. Because I mean, it's at school. And what's nice is they went ahead and cleaned my classroom. So I've been going ahead and like getting my classroom ready for next year. So that feels really good to
Oh, yeah.
go ahead and prepare.
That's good. I like that. Oh, I think you're going to be it for tonight. I don't think anyone else is in line, but I'm going to go ahead and close it because I'm starting to get a wee bit of a headache. So we always like to check before it gets out of control. We always like to do that. So if you have not gotten a reading tonight, no worries. You can always get one. I'm here every Sunday, most Sundays, unless there's a reason not to, which tonight we were almost not going to do this because we had like torrential downpours, but it was so beautiful and we needed it to cool off. So, okay, what does Puppy want?
There's like food right here and he wants food.
Okay, so do we have a question? Do we want to just go straight to cards? Do we want a guided message? What are we feeling?
Just whatever you're in the mood for.
Okay.
I trust
Yeah,
you
I feel like there's something that doesn't want a card that's going to come through. I just got to feel into it. So I'm here. Okay. So I'm hearing daughter. Is there something going on with a parent, or was there a crucial conversation had recently with a parent, or a discussion, not necessarily a conflict? Was there a discussion with a parent recently that?
Yeah. I kind of, I don't know. She probably interpreted it more as scolding my mother the other day for, I think,
Pressure?
to get out more.
Pressure.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got some like little girl energy there, and I was feeling like there was a parent that you had words with. It was either like you guys had difference of opinion about something, or so okay. So how do I want to dig into this? What do we want to say? Okay. So when our parents are still alive, and hopefully that happens for the rest of our lives, right? I mean, although no parent wants to bury their child, and heaven forbid anybody did, I'm so sorry. But when we have our parents in our lives, it's very hard for them to break the habit of being the parent, even when we become adults. And we feel, and this has been coming up a lot this week, so this must be why I pulled that, because we have these standards that we hold that our parents believed in, right? So for example, for me, it's like you send your kids to school and you eat cereal in the morning at 9 o'clock and you get up at this time. And like, so there's the, not that that's my parents' values, but those are the values of our generation, our parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you get older, you start to build your own values and your own beliefs and your own, well, this is how I think that is, and that doesn't agree with you. But the problem is you believe what's up here, the new beliefs, but you hold yourself to the standard of the beliefs that are down here. So you know that you believe in your heart of hearts that the way you do things is aligned for you, for your energy, for the way the world is now. But you also feel that hurt and shame and guilt that you're not pleasing your mother, your father, whoever it is, because that's the world you came from. So we have this dissonance between those two. And we spend a lot of time placating our parents because we don't want to hurt them, because we don't want their last years to be bad or whatever. We don't want to alienate them. But that in and of itself is a test. It's a test of the emergency adult system. And there come times when we have to assert ourselves in our own lives. We don't have to do it disrespectfully, like, you listen, Mom, if you say that one more time, I'm going to smack you across. Like, no, that's not what we're doing here, right? That's not, I'm probably going to get kicked off of Facebook for that one. That's not what we're doing here. What we are doing, though, is we're asserting our boundaries in a way that acknowledges to the universe, to source, to God, to higher power, that our truth is our truth. So that looks like this. Mom, I totally get what you're saying. And I know that you're afraid that I'm not out there living my life. But here's what you may not realize. What I've come to figure out as I've grown and matured is that I don't really enjoy being in public. In fact, when I'm in public, it starts to make me feel some type of way, and I get stressed and I start to feel uncomfortable. Now, I know you may not resonate with that because that doesn't happen to you, but it does happen to me. And one of the ways that I've found to avoid that is that I just don't spend a ton of time in public unless I already know the people and where I'm going to be and the environment, because that's where I feel safe. Very much standing up for your values and what you believe in, acknowledging what your mother believes in, but not making her wrong. You see the difference?
Yeah.
The problem is when you start to have the energetic wobbliness of, well, maybe Mom's right. Maybe I should do that. Now, all of a sudden, your guides are like, what happened to all these values that we had? What happened to this was your truth? This is your concreteness. Parents don't mean to, but sometimes they chip away at your self-truth, at your actualization. They don't mean to, but they come from a different world. It's like if we somehow had a way to speak to people in the past and somebody was like, oh my gosh, what is this box that you have in your hand? Oh, that's my phone. That's not a phone. That can't be a phone. Phones are attached to the wall. You put that down right now and go pick up the phone in the wall. But we don't have that separation between generations because it wouldn't make sense. Like it wouldn't, like we wouldn't be able to coexist. That's part, that like if you think about like, why don't people live 200 years? Can you imagine somebody from the 1800s walking around now? Their head would explode. How do you even explain that I'm talking to you right now?
Yeah.
How do you even, do you remember when Spaceship Earth, I think it was, in Disney, when you'd go in the little cars and then they'd have like the kids talking to the kids in Japan on the Skype? It wasn't even Skype, it was just a computer with a face on it. And it was like, oh, that's going to be a thing? That was when we were little.
Yeah.
And so we have to recognize that there are going to be disparities in the values. But that doesn't mean we change our values. And it doesn't mean that our parents are wrong or that we're making them wrong. It just means that there's a miscommunication, and we get to have that conversation as an adult, not a child. Mom, what the heck? I'm an adult. Stop telling me what to do. The carousel of progress. Yes. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Right. There's that. But there was also Spaceship Earth, the thing where you go in the thing.
Yeah.
I think they both had it. But you're right. Shining at the end of every day. Hashtag worked at Disney. Hashtag Magic Kingdom. Hashtag Pirates of the Caribbean. Anyway, so it's how you respond. So if you say, Mom, what the heck? I'm so sick of talking to you about this because I feel like all you do is nag me, but now what are you doing? You're having the conversation down here as a child, right?
Yeah.
But if you have the conversation from, Mom, you know what? I love you so much. I love how much you worry about me. That's amazing. But here's what you don't know. It's like the other day, I made a Instagram. People get on to me. This is really good. People get on to me all the time because I use filters in my Instagram reels. I have these like cat eyes. I even post pictures like on my feed. Why? Because that's my persona. That's the part of me that feels fierce. It's like, what's her face? Beyonce's alter ego, or RuPaul dressed up as RuPaul, right? So like that matters to me. I like doing that. But people will get on to me all the time and be like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty without filters. Why do you use filters? Nobody believes that's really you. No kidding. I'm not saying it is.
Yeah.
But when I made my reel about it, I was like, I totally get that you think I'm pretty. And here's why I do this. Right? Like I'm having an adult conversation. Oh, she's fine. She's fine. And
She's barking at the cat right now.
Oh.
Tonks. Yes, I know. I'm talking to you.
That is not a good example of communication, dog. And so I recognize that my people, they care about me and they genuinely feel like, hey, you're beautiful. We don't need to see these filters, right? So I came at it from someone who's grateful that people care about her, rather than, you know what, you bitches, you think you're so blah, blah. Like it wasn't, you know what I mean? So looking at it from a place of, this is my value. This is what I believe in. I recognize this is what you believe in. And let's see if we can have a conversation that kind of bridges the gap between them.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
It is. It is. Tonks, if you bark, you have to go outside. Okay. She's like a toddler. Yeah, and it's like the conversation that we had was more on like she was taking this class, and I thought that was good because they just moved down here like a year ago, and she needs local friends. And so I thought that was great, but she doesn't really like the class, and so she like quit the class, and she didn't like that I was just like, okay, that's fine, but you need to find another class because you need to be able to get out and see people. Like, I get it. I have the excuse of work. I get to go out, see people at work, and then when I come home, I can just hang out at home because I'm definitely a homebody. but she's retired. She could be a homebody like 24/7 if she let herself. And she was just, I think, a little surprised that I had an opinion. So, but I like what you said about like the type of communication. And oh my goodness, stop it. I can't think. You can go outside. Watch me wrangle my dog. Go out. It's not raining. Go. Bye. And just kind of making sure that I'm coming at these conversations where it's not oh hey, how are you? But coming at it as an adult and not like I'm still a child.
Right.
So, and not expecting her to react to me like I'm a child, but react to me like I'm an adult. So, which is, I mean, I've been an adult for a while now, but I feel like that's still something that's sometimes hard to jump into.
Right. And there's always going to be an aspect of her that's going to treat you like her little girl. Like that's just kind of mother-daughter situation. But the more that you communicate alpha to alpha, the more you communicate, you know, adult female to adult female, she'll get into the habit of having those conversations at that level. And she won't feel like she can kind of like, you know, use those cheap, like, I don't want to say tricks, but that's kind of what they do, right? Our parents, and they're like, you know, oh, honey, oh, sweetheart, you know, and my mom doesn't do it as much anymore. I've clapped back a couple of times where she said things and been like, you know, you should, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what, Mom, I come from a very different world than you do. I remember there was one time where she thought that I should go out and get a little job. She's like, you could do something, you know, something just so you have like insurance, or I'm like, Mom, do you know how much money I make coaching? I could never make that doing what I'm like. I couldn't do DoorDash and make that kind of money. Like it's just not possible.
Yeah.
You know, but they come from a different world. They come from a like, oh, you know, what are you doing on a Tuesday laying on your bed watching TV? I worked Saturday, I worked Sunday, I worked 18, you know, like it's a different world. And being able to communicate without making anyone feel some type of way, I think is really important.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah, I was like, this is weird. This isn't our usual conversation. But
I know. But I think and I think that kind of topic can be applied to any number of things as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for being here, Garrett. I hope I'll see you next Sunday.
Yes. Yeah. I love listening to Oracle Hour.
Well, I love hosting it, so thank you so much. All right, talk soon.
All right, bye.
All right, well, that will do it for tonight's broadcast for the evening. I hope that you guys enjoyed Oracle Hour. We're here every Sunday, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 1 hour. Tonight it was about 1 hour and 15, and that's perfectly okay. We had a lot of really powerful energy right out of the gate, so I love that. I'm so glad that we had that. Couple of things, just real quick announcements. First of all, you may have heard that the podcast is getting a rebrand. We're moving from the Dream Design Podcast to Magnetic Goddess. I'm very excited about that. But also, I wanted to let you guys know that there is a new Facebook group. It is invitation only and it is female only. So specifically for divine feminine energy, this is called Goddess Queen. If you're not already in there and you'd like an invite, let me know. You can DM me, you can put it in the comments here, whatever you like. I am going to be very strict about who we let in as far as masculine, feminine energies. It's very important to preserve the sanctity of the space. We are asking for females only. What else was I going to say? I think that's it. I think that's all. Yeah. So thank you so much for all of you who joined me this evening. It has been a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Take care.